Now after climbing through the beginning and amateur stages of TDS, I was finally able to reach the professional leagues. So here I was sitting and staring off into the far distance when I suddenly came up with some brilliant TDS challenges. So the first challenge I came up with is the no skins challenge. So I grabbed the 5 towers that don't have skins currently and headed off into battle. So at first I chose Molten mode as the game mode, which turned out to be way too easy of a challenge because just by placing 2 elf camps was enough to carry me to the late game. And as expected, I beat the challenge on my first try. So after that, I picked the same map Crossroads, but I changed the difficulty to Fallen. So I started by placing a Sludger and then placing elf camps. Now this challenge would have been completely toast from the beginning if it wasn't for the elves. So I kept on upgrading my elf camps until the hidden stacked up and overcame my defense. Now at this stage I was immensely in denial. So instead of spamming in the chat, I decided to watch some motivational video, which was just enough to keep me going. So after that, I got back up and I decided to give the challenge another try. I decided to give the challenge another try by focusing more on my elf camps, which only led me to dying to a Fallen a few waves later. Now at this point I was deeply in anger, so I subscribed to the Paradoxian Games just to unsubscribe from it. So after that, I decided to change the map to Portland, which was an easier map because it didn't have the beta enemies that were inside Crossroads. I ended up getting way further than my previous attempts. However, no matter what I did, I always ended up dying to a hidden boss or something else really stupid. Now I skipped all the stages and went straight to acceptance. I accepted the fact that doing this challenge on follow mode was in fact impossible and the only way to do it was inside Molten. Now the second challenge is in honor of the OG Tower Commando, and since Commando does the exact same DPS as Scout and uses a pistol like Scout, what challenge would be better than the pistol only challenge? Now for the towers, I ended up picking the Scout, the Crook Boss, the Cowboy, the Commander, and the Commando. Now just right when I was about to start the challenge, something unfortunate happened. I was reminded that I haven't touched grass. So the first thing I did was reschedule the video to the last day of next week. Now finally, after a week of procrastination, I finally decided to work on the video. Now like anybody else in TDS, I started by picking Fallen, but then lost my confidence and decided to go for Molten. I started the game by placing 2 scouts and upgrading them for the early waves. The scouts were doing well and ended up killing the first boss on wave 10, so after that I decided to go for a Commando. However, this was soon to be a mistake. Because of the Commando's expensive cost, I began to run low on money, which eventually forced me into placing down some Cowboys. Which was another mistake because since I placed the Cowboys in the back of the map, they ended up not killing many enemies and not giving me much money, which resulted me in struggling on the waves with other bosses. Another thing about this challenge is that the Crook Boss cannot be upgraded past level 2 because of its weapon. Now every small mistake ended up piling up, which resulted in my defense not having enough power to carry through the major bosses. So with that, I ended up failing 2 challenges, which made me realize that me and the military base actually have a lot in common, because every single time the truck turns, it results in an L.